going to embark in addressing the specific topics related to the theme of the forum in a more substantive way. The deliberation will be driven by practitioners, experts. By experts, I mean academics, political scientists, policymakers, activists, etc.
In this globalized world, individuals are no longer identifying themselves only by their nationality, but by ethnicity and by religion. While we are talking about faith, branded security threats, and often about radical Islam, the traditional Sufi Islam in Africa is very peaceful. Actually, it is very respectful of secular nature of states. Indeed, in many places on the continent, Muslims and other faiths do live in peace. However, due to the aggressive inroads of radical Islam preachers, local Muslim communities have come under pressure. What makes faith attractive as a basis for these radical organizations? And Abdul spoke about these young people in Europe, where secularism is well established, but they still choose to go to be jihadists. Why does the level of unpreparedness of government to tackle religious violence in Africa seems to be unprecedented? What are the prospects of modern African secular counter-narrative?
I'm of the view that we cannot in any way have a disconnection between what we see as the emergence of radical groups in Africa and the increased inequalities and poverty in Africa. And I'll talk about my country, Nigeria. Now take Boko Haram. The northeast of Nigeria, Borno and Yobe, has been the poorest part of the country. In a world in which every conflict is defined in terms of a conflict between secularism and Islam, it is very convenient for Islam to be appropriated as a rallying force for the expression of these discontents. When we speak about secularism under threat from these groups, maybe we should ask about the threat to security coming from the failure of the state and the need to look very closely at marginalized groups and uneven development. It's important to recognize that these groups often might use religious language, they might use religious expressions, but their complaints and their discontents are secular. We need to ask ourselves, to what extent did the state fail? And to what extent is the strength of groups like Boko Haram a reflection of the failure of the African state? And at forums such as this, those of us in positions of leadership need to be able to accept responsibility. Partial, at least, it does, not fully, but at least we are, at least in part, responsible for creating the circumstances that provide the fertile ground for the emergence of these groups.
We see it happening in our own country, in my own country, Tanzania. Signs of violence taking place, particularly in the Zanzibar Island, where acid spraying is becoming normal, burning up of churches is becoming normal, gunning down priests is becoming normal. So it is a situation that is perpetuated by lack of good governance. But I'm also of the opinion that what you call religious fundamentalism and groups like Al-Shabaab and the like, these are not religious groups. These are cults. I said Africa is weak because we believe in what we call in the church parochialism. Tanzania becomes Tanzania, Kenya's Kenya, and there's nothing in between in terms of strong ties in the areas of security and intelligence sharing and border control as well. And the enemy, using the religious cloth, will take advantage of the weaknesses they see.
I can't discuss Nigeria without noticing that 12 years ago, as many as 5 or 6 women were sentenced to death by stoning. This was not by Boko Haram. This was by our local Sharia courts. Now, Boko Haram are not the same as the local courts, but these groups do emerge out of our societies, and I don't think it's helpful to deny that. They arise out of our societies, and I would like to create a bit of trouble by saying that one of the problems is an excess of religiosity.
Dans la réalité, le pouvoir politique traite des religions comme d'une force sociale. Et je ne connais pas de pouvoir politique qui puisse ignorer la religion parce que, à la différence de la foi qui est individuelle, la religion est une institution. Les frontières entre ce qu'on appelle des laïcs, ce qu'on appelle les porteurs de revendications locales légitimes, ce qu'on appelle les terroristes étrangers, ce qu'on appelle les islamistes extrêmes, les frontières entre ces différentes catégories relèvent beaucoup plus de distinctions sémantiques que de la réalité. Ensuite, il faut bien dire que ce sont les déchirures dans le tissu national qui font qu'il est difficile de contenir la progression d'un certain nombre de mouvements qui politisent la foi. On ne répare pas les déchirures nationales dans le tissu national par le silence des armes. On les répare par des discours forts, qui ont une haute teneur symbolique et qui sont capables de retourner les plus sceptiques.
Political Islam has an opportunity with the Arab Spring to create a space for itself in the Muslim world. And for that, I think they have to accept others, but also they have to make themselves accepted by others.
The state has always used religion consistently throughout as the most important basis for culture, the basis for customs, for mores, for values in society. It has been an important instrument, actually, of one of the other important organizations of society, which is the state.
J'ai le bonheur de vous dire que, après tous les errements que nous avons connus, le processus de paix au Mali avance. Grâce à nos amis algériens notamment, qui ont conduit le processus, nous arrivons enfin, on dirait que le Nil atteint enfin le Caire. Il y aura une cérémonie de signature de paix à Bamako le 15 mai, auquel je voudrais inviter tous mes collègues ici présents. Oui, il y en a qui ne veulent pas signer encore, qui ne sont pas prêts à signer. Mais le train avancera sans eux. Le Mali ne peut pas rester en gare. Il est temps. 8 mois en Algérie, de va-et-vient. Cela suffit largement qu'on nous travaille. La décision est donc prise par la médiation internationale et par notre gouvernement de procéder à une signature de la paix au Mali, à Bamako, le 15 mai. Tous mes frères y sont cordialement invités. Une cérémonie ainsi.
African redefinitions of secularization as well as of the state. We need to make sure that those redefinitions are inclusive, they're equitable, and they're diverse.
Faith, be it organized religion or traditional beliefs, continues to play a major role in the lives of ordinary Africans. Faith is something we take very seriously. And it doesn't matter what you may try to do, you can't take it away from us. And in fact, you must not try to take it away from us. But the quest by many states to achieve secularism and keep politicized faith in check is more complex than their violent manifestations on both traditional and new media. We have to remove the root cause, and that is very important. Diversity in Africa is an important characteristic of society, and the state needs to facilitate dialogue that takes into account the diversity and differences to live in harmony with our different identities.